Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Church at Home with Rachel. I'm the rector of the Anglican Churches of St. Mary's, Edgerton, and St. Thomas in Wainwright in Alberta in the Diocese of Edmonton. Today is Friday, the 15th of January, and here in Wainwright, it's a bit overcast and cold, which makes it perfect for a day to play hooky. Do you remember back when you were in school, did you ever just not go to class and go down to the cafeteria or out behind the school or just take off completely? I never did that. Not very often. I was a pretty good studious, conscientious, Pollyanna kind of girl. But every once in a while, I would be influenced by my never-do-well friends, and I would go with them, maybe like once a spring. But there's something to be said for taking that time off, and it doesn't have to be illegal. It can be completely kosher to do this. Even God, in taking time to make creation, took the seventh day off. Now, we can talk at a later date about whether a day is a day, but in God's time, who knows what a day is. But God did all of that creating in whatever time it took. And then we're told in the scripture that he stopped, that he took this, the seventh day was a day of Sabbath, a day of quiet, and he stopped creating. I can just sort of picture God kicking back, putting his feet up, looking back at his week and saying, hey, not a bad job. We have had a productive week. Sometimes I can do that. Sometimes I put my feet up on my Sabbath day and say, okay, not such a productive week. Things didn't quite go the way I wanted them to, but that's done. Let's prepare for a fresh start. Well, during this pandemic, it's awfully hard to play hooky from life when you're stuck in your house or your social environment is limited. It's hard to get away from what you're doing, but I think it's really important, especially now, that we all just do that. We all find a way to play hooky for a little while, to take care of ourselves. Now, I've spoken before about the importance of taking Sabbath and taking good self-care, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, taking time to set aside to be healthy, to be spiritually in tune, to read scripture. But I'm not talking about that today. Today I'm just talking about your basic human being, taking care of yourself, making sure you have a break to just relax. When I have been in parish ministry, most of the time in my 21 years that my parish ministry, I ended up taking Fridays as my day off. A lot of clergy would take Monday, but I always found that Sunday after church was the day I found out that someone had been in a hospital or somebody was having a bad day, and trying to take Monday off, it just felt guilty because I wasn't calling people or going to see them in the hospital. And then I found that Fridays, nobody wanted me around on a Friday. Nobody wanted a visit on Friday. They're getting ready for their weekend. So I thought, well, so should I. So I started taking Fridays off. And that was a good way of working. Usually, parish council meetings and choir and things like that are done by Thursday night. And Friday I could sleep in, read a book. In Halifax, I had a wonderful routine that on Friday mornings after Dan, my stepson, would get off to school, I would go to this family restaurant called Steak and Stein on Yonge Street. And I would go in and I would have oatmeal and a side of bacon and a cup of coffee, and I would read my book, and the wait staff would talk to me, and I'd spend an hour just, luxuriously having my breakfast. And then I'd go through the drive-thru at Tim's and get a Tim Hortons steeped tea, and then I would go to Keshen Goodman Library, and I'd sit in the one corner surrounded by all the older folks who would go there every morning with their newspapers, and they would sit and talk and read, and I'd sit there with them and read my book, and about 11:30 or 12 I'd go home and then take care of the dog and do whatever needed to be done in the house. But it was a wonderful way of just being. And you know what? I never took a Bible with me on those Fridays. I would take novels. I would take whatever I was reading. If I was reading a biography, anything that had nothing to do with church, nothing to do with thinking spiritually, everything to do with just relaxing and letting my brain go someplace where it didn't need to be, but wanted to be. And so I'm finding during this pandemic that because the office is in the house in the basement, and it's just so easy to remember, oh, I should make that phone call. I can go down and work on the computer for a little while. I could write that sermon. That taking time off when you're at home it's more difficult than it seems. And even though this is a pandemic, and there are so many things that I can't do that I normally would do, there's a lot of other things that need to get done as well. So I realized I haven't been very good about taking my time off. And now that Rob's back at work and not in the house, it's easier. So this morning, I thought I'm going to take my time off. I'm going to save my daily office upstairs in the living room with the big windows where I can look outside and see the world go by. I have a steady stream of coffee handy. And then I'm going to do things like read my book. This is a book I've had for a couple years. It's called Christmas with Hot Apple Cider. And it's like an anthology of short stories and poems, some fiction, some nonfiction that people have written about Christmas. And it's all Canadian, which makes it all that much better to me. And so I started reading this the other day, and the very first story was written by a woman named Anne Brent about being in southwestern Ontario. And her kids' names were Karen and Jason. And I thought, wait a minute, I think I know her. And it turns out that this woman was a friend of my mom's. And when I was about 5 years old, we went to her house in Brights Grove, and we went swimming at the beach. And I realized I am not allowing myself time to just reconnect with the fun things in life. I'm so focused on God, and I think God understands what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to be heretical. I'm so focused on all the other things and all of the things that I should be doing but I can't do, and the things that I shouldn't be doing but I am doing, that I haven't been paying attention to just having a little bit of me time, a little bit of playing hooky. So today, my daily office is being set upstairs in the living room in my big comfortable chair with a cup of coffee, and the coffee pot is right over there so I can get more as soon as I need it. I've got the candles that Rob gave me for Christmas that aren't my churchy candles, but are nevertheless are beautifully scented and are reminding me of just being peaceful. And I'm going to read my book and hang out with the dog, and then later today go back to work because some of the recording we did at St. Mary's for one of the church services didn't work. So we have to try again. The joys of technology. But the beauty is that I have this morning to just relax and be and not feel guilty about being. When we take time for ourselves away from the people who we love them, but we need a break from them, take time away from doing the tasks that we need to do, whether it's work or housework or even those things that we love to do but are kind of a bit of drudgery work. When we take time to do those things, we actually allow our brains and our bodies to recuperate, to regenerate. I think playing hooky from life, having a me time day or morning. Sorry, dude just heard something outside, so he just announced himself. He doesn't actually bark very often. But, dude, be quiet, please. Lay down. Lay down. Okay. So, having some time to just rejuvenate actually, I think, rebuilds or refills our tanks for creativity. It gives us that energy that we need to be able to do what's coming next and gives us a new perspective on life. So I think that taking time to play hooky is really a great idea. So please take some time this weekend to just relax. Put your feet up. If you have a fireplace, this is the perfect day to build a roaring fire, put your feet up in front of it, your comfy socks, pull out your book that you like to read, or put on a movie that's just frivolous and doesn't contribute to your well-being whatsoever except make you feel good or laugh your guts out. Something like that. Just enjoy being who you are and enjoy being the person who has the hobbies or the pleasures that God created you to enjoy. I know not everybody likes to read, but that happens to be my thing. I love reading. So today I'm going to read. Maybe for you it's painting or knitting or something else. But take some time, play hooky, enjoy your day, become refreshed and rejuvenated so you can face the world again with renewed hope and joy and laughter. Have a wonderful weekend. I will make sure that Worship for Sunday is up online for 9:30 on Sunday morning, and Church at Home will resume on Monday morning. So have a great weekend. Stay home. Stay safe. If you have to go out, please wear a mask. Pray for those who are frontline workers and all those who are grocery stores and all those people who are working hard to make sure that we can stay home and stay safe. And take good care of yourself. Take this day to play hooky. God bless everybody. I'll see you Monday.